Alright guys, just logged on. I've got about probably about 10 minutes before I have to head back to work. Keep an eye out tonight for my new article that I've just published. It is an article called HIIT Training versus Steady State Cardio for Fat Loss. I'll go through the pros and cons of both styles of cardio and kind of let you decide what suits you better, or whether you want to use a mix of the two or whatever it might be. So I posted up the status a little bit earlier on that I was going to do this live video. I had a few people message me kind of just through direct message, a few text messages, some Snapchats and stuff like that. So I've got the questions here. I'm going to run through them. Like I said, I've got about 10 minutes and then I've got to get back to work. So the first question I have here is, what are my favourite 3 ab exercises? So usually when I do an ab workout, those who have purchased my ebook, the 10 workouts for a stronger core, know that I use a fair bit of variability in my workouts, just so basically not to trick the muscles or anything like that, basically just hit my abs and my core from all angles. So my 3 favourite exercises, probably first one to be either hanging knee or hanging leg raises. So to target the lower abs. So most of you would probably already know, but you can't actually break the abs down into 3 separate areas. So if I'm targeting the lower abs, then I'm still going to be getting activation in the upper and obliques and transverse abdominis and all that type of stuff. But to target the lower abs, my favourite exercise is definitely hanging leg raises or hanging knee raises. I probably get a better activation from knee raises because I don't incorporate as much hip flexors. Second one is either probably a rope crunch, so a cable rope crunch, or just a normal weighted crunch. That'd be probably targeting the upper abs, obviously. And then I'd say third one for obliques is probably either hanging wipers or cable wood chops. They're probably my 2 favourite exercises for obliques. And then obviously I throw in stuff like planks and all that type of stuff as well, which is really important. You got to remember that the core and the abs are there to stabilize your lower back and your spine. So doing all these movements, just crunching and getting flexion in the spine, is not going to be beneficial. It'll be beneficial for hypertrophy in the abs, but in regards to actually strengthening your core, which most people need to do, especially if you're an athlete, then that's not going to be that beneficial. So a few key things to remember with your abs and core training is focus on your breathing. So each and every rep, instead of this, if you've got 20 reps of crunches to do, you're not just going to smash through the reps and get out the 20 reps. Well, most people do, to be honest, but you're not getting the same benefits. If I was to get you to do a set of 10 on bench press, you wouldn't just grab the bar and just smash out 10 reps as quick as you could. But most people do it on abs, which makes no sense. So really focus on the contraction of every rep and exhale every time you contract your abs. Just exhaling gets all the air out of the lungs, will just make for a better contraction. And the other thing is, don't use momentum. So stuff, especially with lower abs, so hanging leg raises, knee raises, even lying leg raises on the floor and stuff. You see so many people swinging and using their hip flexors and their lower back and all kinds of stuff, and not actually their abs. So slow the movement down and take away the momentum. So they're my 3 favourite ab exercises. So it's hanging knee or leg raises, either cable rope crunches or just a weighted crunch for hypertrophy. And then for the obliques, it'd either be cable wood chops or hanging wipers. Next question, what's my 1 RM on squats? So my 1 rep max on squats is not that impressive. The heaviest I've done is 157.5 kilos for 1 rep. And that was at a body weight of about, I'd probably say 76 kilos. So I've got to test my 1 rep max again in a few weeks. So it'd be interesting to see where it's at now, now that I'm weighing at about 80 or 81 kilos. But yeah, so not that impressive, but the answer is 157.5. Next question, how do I track my calories and my macros? So I use the app MyFitnessPal. There's a number of different apps out there. For me, that's just what I've used right from the start, and it's proven to be pretty effective. So MyFitnessPal, the app will kind of shoot out some goals for you to hit, and as a starter or as a guide, that can be beneficial, especially if you haven't tracked calories or macros in the past. But for myself, I just kind of know the numbers that I need to hit, and then I go off my daily totals and then just keep track throughout the day. And to be honest, most times I'll kind of plan my day before the day starts, so the night before, so I know that I'm going to be not going over or under my calorie intake for the day. And you can actually also download the or buy the premium version of MyFitnessPal. So I think it might be like $50 or $60 for 12 months, and it just allows you to put in your individualized macros, which is pretty beneficial. You can put in meals on the go, so instead of searching up the meal in MyFitnessPal, you can actually just put in the macros. So if you've got, if you have, say for example, I don't know, something that's got 20 grams of protein, 30 carbs and 5 fats, but you can't find it on MyFitnessPal. If you have the premium version, you can just chuck in those numbers and then off you go. So it's pretty beneficial if that's what you're after. I just use the normal version and it's fine. And if anything, even if you're not planning on tracking macros and calories for a long time, just using the app to kind of, how do I put it? Using the app to become more aware of what's in certain foods, finding out what protein is, what carbs are, what fats are. So many people have no idea, and it's just an eye-opener. A lot of my clients in the first few weeks kind of send me messages or check in via email and say like, oh, I'm so surprised with what I've been eating. I'm barely eating any protein, and the most common thing is most people don't eat enough protein, but they eat too many carbs and fats, and that's just what causes the excess calories, so the calorie surplus in people that are trying to lose fat. So they're training their ass off, but not getting the benefits because their nutrition's out of whack. So both things need to be in line there to get the most benefit. Next question: when's the best time to train? When's the best time to train carbs, and how often? For me and for most of my clients, usually I'll just get them to train their carbs at the end of a lower body day. Usually pretty high volume. I don't really go with too heavy weight or anything like that. I'll just try and get a bit of volume in, single leg stuff, double leg stuff, whatever. If they're a weak point and you're trying to bring them up, then all I'd suggest is add them in the end of pretty much every session. You know, a few sets here and there over the span of a week, that volume gradually adds up. Or even, you know, if you're doing 1 or 2 sessions now, add that up to 3 sessions and then just keep building it up. And over time, the volume will become more and more, and that's what it's all about, is progressive overload. It's no different for your calves compared to your chest. So to grow your chest, you need to progressively get stronger or progressively lift more load. So whether that's more reps, more sets, more weight, whatever it may be, it might be one of those, it might be all of those. But for you to grow, ideally, if you're a natural athlete, you need to be in a calorie surplus. Unless you're a newbie or unless you are enhanced, then you can still put on a fair bit of muscle being in a calorie deficit. But to grow any muscle group, even your abs, guys, you need to progressively overload and give the muscle a reason to grow. So break down the muscle fibers and cells for them to have to improve and get stronger or bigger to adjust to the load that you're giving them. A couple questions left, guys, and I've got to get going. Why do no carb or low carb diets work so well, and how come I lose weight when eating gluten free? All right, so this is a really important question that I want to clear up. Okay, so no carb diets or no fat diets, or low of either of those two, and stuff like gluten free diets, such a big misconception. So yes, you are going to lose fat on a no-carb diet or a no-fat diet, and yes, you're most likely going to lose weight on a gluten-free diet. That's not because you're gluten intolerant, it's not because you're intolerant to carbs or fats, it's because you're basically cutting out a whole food group, which is a shit ton of calories. So, for example, gluten-free. Someone goes gluten-free and all of a sudden they're not eating all this pretty much extra crap they've been eating in the past. So, they might be eating a ton of bread, whatever it may be, bread, heaps of grains, all that type of stuff that gluten is in, and then they don't substitute that for more carbs, so they're basically cutting out a whole food group in carbohydrates, which is quite obviously going to dramatically drop the calorie intake because you're cutting out a whole food group. That's why you're losing the weight. That's why you're losing the fat. It's not because you're gluten intolerant. Yes, there is, you know, a certain percentage of people that will be intolerant to gluten or celiacs and stuff. And if they've been tested and they've been told that they are, then, you know, obviously that's why their body responds better. But for the majority of people, especially people that have been having a ton of gluten and a ton of extra calories in the past, they cut it out, or they cut out carbs, they cut out fats. They're dramatically decreasing their calories, and that's why they're losing weight. It's not because your body. Again, it's a small percentage of people that respond better to low carb compared to high carb. You just got to find what works for you. But majority of the time, the people that are amazed with the fact that they're losing all this fat because they drop their carbs and stuff, it's because you're dramatically decreasing your calories. So that's something I've been kind of wanting to say for a while, and I'll probably write an article on that in the near future. But just to clear that up, it's the reduction in calories which is what's causing you to lose the weight. Not because you're intolerant to gluten or not because you don't respond well to carbs or fats. It's reduction in calories. Last question, and then I better get going. Is it best to train in the morning or at night? This is completely dependent on what suits you and when you perform best. So you're not gonna burn more calories training in the morning or compared to training at night, and vice versa. So if you know that in the morning you're just no good, you wake up, it takes you a few hours to wake up usually, and you don't think you're going to be able to get the most out of your workout, then train at night or train in the middle of the day or whenever it may be. Is whenever you're going to get the most effective workout and produce the best results and burn the most energy and expend the most energy from your session. If you're the opposite, if you know that you've got a long day at work and if you go to the gym after work, you're just going to be drained and can't be bothered training, and you know that you're not going to have a good session, then train in the morning. It's completely up to you, and it really makes no difference. The only difference it's going to make is when you're going to perform at your best. So pick a time of the day, whether that's every session of the week you train in the morning or in the afternoon, or whether some days you know that, you know, Monday, for example, you might finish work and it's the start of the week, and you know you're still going to have a little bit of energy, or you might be really keen to train. You may have stuffed up with your nutrition over the weekend or something like that, and you're keen to kind of get in a big session, then train in the afternoon if you know you're going to be tired Monday morning. But it all comes down to how productive you can be in your session. That's when you should train throughout the day. So that's it for the Q&A, guys. I'm going to start doing these fairly often. I think I'm going to do them every 1 to 2 days. So if you have any questions, like the people that have sent me these today, please send them through. It doesn't matter if I've already spoke about them before. I will leave this video up so you can check it again. But yeah, if you've got any questions, please let me know, and I'll try and help you the best I can. Like I said, keep an eye out for my article that I'm going to be posting probably within the next half an hour. On the pros and cons of HIIT cardio versus steady state. I think a lot of people will benefit from it. So if you know of someone that could benefit from the article, please do share it on your social media, and give it a like on Facebook for me. That'd be great. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.